Hey, good day at Synergy Cafe, and welcome to the MagicBrad Show. And today we've got a guest on today, so it's not going to be just boring me and that enlightened Stephen Hart. It's going to be a third entity. Can you believe it? As you can see right here, his name is Al, and the last name is Henager, I think. I think that's good, unless it's Henager. You can't tell these days. I don't know. First, let me go get Steve-O. Where's Steve-O? Are you still here?
Hey.
Good morning.
I'm waiting.
Must be sunny down there. Your whole face is like bright.
Yeah, I know. It's the Florida sunshine.
Well, we got a guest today, and you line that up perfectly. That's wonderful, and that's gonna be fun getting another opinion because I'm getting tired of mine. How'd you go in there?
Yeah, bring out. We got to get to know this guy.
Have you met Al before in person?
No, never. This is my first time to actually communicate with him.
So he might be one of those.
We text through Messenger, and on Facebook, but
I don't even know if he's real. He might be one of those digital facsimiles.
We'll find out.
Let's go find out, Steve. Mr. Al. There he is.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
How is everybody?
We're doing great.
So where are you hailing from, Al?
From a suburb of Little Rock, Arkansas.
I've never been to Arkansas.
We're right in the middle of the state.
Okay. How close to Eureka Springs?
It's about 2.5 hours.
Oh, not too bad. And then there's another magician I met from that area. His name is Maxwell Blade. You know him?
Yeah.
I think he's on the east side. Okay, so we got Sean Paul on the west side, Maxwell Blade on the east side, and then you're right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Whew. There
are a number of folks around here. We have Ring 29 of IBM, and I'm a member of that ring. And we had our annual Christmas show 2 weeks ago. We always do it in January after Christmas because everybody's so busy.
Sure.
And it was a nice show.
So on this
very active club
program, we talk about doing magic for the senior living centers. Is that something that you participate in? Yes,
that's where I've been doing most of my shows lately. There are quite a few near here. I'm located in Benton, Arkansas, which is just a few miles from Hot Springs and Hot Springs Village, which is a major retirement center for the United States. We have a lot of people who retire to that area, and so there's a lot of opportunity here. And as far as I know, nobody in the Magic Club that or anyone else that I know of is doing senior centers here in Arkansas, in Central Arkansas, anyway.
Well, Steve's got some experience in that. He's probably got some questions for you.
Okay.
How often do you do shows? How many a week, month?
Well, I had 3 scheduled last week. I had 2 the week before, 1 the week before that. So it varies. And I retired from my day job in July.
Which was?
I was a hospital chaplain and chaplain educator for 30, 40 years, and just retired. I was in Kansas City at the time and moved back to Central Arkansas to be near my family. And I had done magic for years. I started out when I was about 13, ordered my first magic catalog and trick from Vic Lawson down in Florida. And I couldn't afford much, so I saved up to buy the Royal Road to Card Magic and a deck of cards, and that's how it all started.
Wow. So what kind of magic do you do now you work a lot of senior shows, you saying?
Yeah, I would do what you would call platform magic. I do some manipulation as well as a lot of tabletop or other tricks. My largest one that I usually take to a senior center is I have a Delbin double wrist chopper that is packed and set up, and I usually try to turn that on you do that on the activities director, because the residents all seem to love that when I get them to pop their hands off.
Now, you might explain to some of our members what that is. I know what it is, but that wrist chopper is different.
Yes, it is. It's a double wrist chopper made by Delbin. He put out just a few of those back years ago when I was in seminary. I bought it from Ben Stone, head number 2, but it works a lot like there's a dove thing where you put a dove in and push a blade down.
Right.
It
has 2 holes,
La Paloma.
2 wrists.
But it has 2 holes. You put your hands through. You can actually handcuff them inside there, which I do. And I play a real comedy bit, you know.
That's great. You know, but you can also have a man and a woman, or 2 people, one each put their wrist.
You can use 2 people. I usually just use one, and play a lot of comedy with it. It'll be old. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna slam down the blade. 1, 2. 3 days ago, I was doing, you know, that kind of thing.
That's great.
And we have a lot of fun with it.
No, those are not cheap, right? That's an expensive.
That I think I paid $125 for it and the stand years ago.
Oh, I was going to say today it's like $300.
You can't find them today, and if you do, they're $600, $700, $800.
Oh, okay, I was right. Yeah. Well, that's a unique feature. So, do you use music in your show?
Yes, I do. I use my Google, my Android phone, and I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound as well as Audio. That's with 2 I's, AUDIIO.com. I have a subscription there. I have a lifetime membership with Audio, and those are royalty-free music sources. And I've spent probably hours going through picking out the right kind of music. And then I use Go Button on my Android, and I have a Bluetooth sound system, very small sound system that I carry, and connect with Bluetooth with my phone. And then I can I have the stand there on my nightclub table. I mean, my phone on the nightclub table. I can just control everything by touch of a finger. And I found that doesn't distract or anything. I can control my own music. I can do the show by myself, or I could have someone help me sometimes. My wife reluctantly comes along sometimes.
She's seen the show before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. When you bring somebody with you, they really have to enjoy it, you know, to be able to come along. Although
I think it's really good to have someone out there. She's done video and things. I think it's good to have someone out there like that can come and give you feedback on what you can improve on and what they saw the audience see and that sort of thing. It's really, really helpful.
Yes, it is. I know. When I was married, my wife said, "You didn't hear what that lady said to you, did you?" Of course, my hearing's not that good either, but no, it was interesting to get the feedback and have somebody come with you. I just made a trip the last 4 days down in southern part of Florida, and I took a buddy with me, and he helped me out, took pictures and video. In fact, that's what some of the stuff I'm posting now. It does make a difference, you know, and so yeah, but not everybody has the privilege of having someone come along, so you're blessed with that, you know.
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit.
I'm married up, as they say.
Say it again.
I'm married up, as they say.
Oh, yay. Yeah, always. Tell us a little bit about your message that you've the title you use, Beyond Illusion. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts about that.
Well, I do a lot of churches, youth groups, and that sort of thing, and community outreach, where I do more of a gospel message at the end. It's so I do that, but in the nursing centers, I don't go in that as much. I have my central trick that I do there is a version of Copintro, which is the coins to glass. You have a shot glass and a tumbler over it, and then you have 4 coins, and the basic trick is you make the 4 coins disappear one at a time and appear one at a time, just magically underneath the tumbler and into the shot glass. I have written an original story called The Mystery of the Guitar Mansion, which is based upon an old mansion that was built in Abilene, Texas, where I grew up. And it's sort of a spooky story about this woman who's named Laura Guitar, whose husband died, and he comes back and visits her, and the coins, she sleeps with the coin in her hand and it disappears, and that go through that trick, and it's a very intriguing story. And at the end, I usually say to them, just this is as hard a message as I get usually do in a nursing home setting. I usually say, was this a fanciful tale, or did it happen the way I told it? Perhaps we'll never really know, but I do know one thing that's true about the story is that they are now reunited together in the afterlife. They were both people of faith. In fact, they were founding members of the First Christian Church of Abilene. And so I know that according to their belief and faith, when they have both died now, they are together in eternity. And that's one message that I give. So it gives them a little hope to look forward, because they're at the end of the life cycle. The other is I have a Chinese flame clock. It's a device this high. It has a candle in the middle, 3 doors. You close the doors, put in 2 knives, and you open the door, the middle's gone, and then you restore it. And my message there at the end, I usually do it to music. We do start off with a recording of This Little Light of Mine, and I get them singing along with me, and then I say, now watch. And then I have more of a kind of a modern version of that song singing in the background, and I do the illusion. And at the end, I say, I want you to understand that each of you, just like this candle, is a light.
That's right.
You have a light inside of you. It doesn't matter where you are, in your room, in the dining hall, out in the community, here in the retirement center. Let your light shine.
That's right.
Never, ever let it go out. So that's kind of a message I give.
You are your light still. You are a light. Let me ask you about that, since your past background. Tell me, what's your opinion about talking about death, especially in a senior audience? Is it something that's welcomed or something you refrain from? How do you deal with that?
I haven't really talked about death just per se, only obliquely. In the story, for example, of the Guitar Mansion, John Guitar, the patriarch of the family, dies at the age of 68. And his wife goes on and lives in the mansion by herself for another 12 years, but she never got over his death. And to help her in the unresolved grief, she uses this coin to feel connected to him. But then he comes to her in this dream and talks to her, Laura, you're going to be coming to me, and we'll be together again soon, my love. So don't be afraid. And then we go on through, and the final coin disappears and appears over here, and she sits down in John's chair and slumps back and passes from this life into the next.
And then, that's part of your story that you tell, huh?
That's part of the story. And I tell it as a mystery type of story with kind of this ethereal music playing in the background during the patter. And it's been very, very effective. people sit on the edge of their seats, you know.
Really? Do you get
control?
They talk to you after the show about that story?
Yes, they said, I really love that story. I've had people come up and say, you know, I've been a part of the I Don't Like Magic Club, but that story, I really liked that story and the way you worked it in there. So I've got a lot of good feedback.
That's a lesson for our members and magicians that let them know that people do enjoy the stories. And when you craft a story like that, then, you know, that's awesome. You know. Tell me, you're familiar with that trick with the caskets it's called grave something. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I have never used that.
Used it? Okay. I've toyed around with using it, and I asked a couple of other our members, and they said, "Oh yeah, we use it." They think it's funny, you know, where it starts out like a big giant casket and ends up to being a trash can, because that's.
Oh yeah, the folding paper. Yeah. One of our members here uses that. I think it's really can be funny. I've never used that style of a trick, but I can see how that could be very good, because it's a humorous piece of.
I guess that was my question. In my programs, I've avoided talking about death at all. Yet at the same time, there are numerous things that we do in our programs. Like I do a napkin tear, and it's all tore up, and then put it back together again. So there's a death of the napkin, and then it's restored. You know, that's part of the theme of magic. You know, so like in your situation, the candle disappears, and goes out, and comes back. You know, so there's a death and resurrection in the story, or in the pattern, symbolism behind a lot of what we do. So,
and occasionally a few retirement centers, the activities director will say, yeah, we have ministers come in all the time, and we have gospel music, and you know, so if you want to work that in, that's fine, and I'll go a little bit more specific into that.
Yeah.
And
no, I've not had that opportunity down here in Florida. You're in Arkansas; it's a little bit more what do they call it?
Bible Belt.
Bible Belt.
We're one of the holes in the Bible buckle of the Bible Belt.
So you said you live in Benton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so within a short driving distance, can you get to Little Rock and other cities to do shows, or what?
Little Rock is about a 10-minute drive to the edge of it. I can get anywhere down in it 20 minutes easy.
You have
Hot Springs Village is another 20 minutes the other way.
There you go. So you've got a good market to pull from. You know.
And I've driven as far as a couple of hours to do a program. I did a program for a Methodist church down in El Dorado, which is a little further away.
Wow. So where do you perceive you going with your magic at this point? Anything new coming up?
The thing I used to do in my younger days is, my philosophy was, there's never too much trouble to go to do a really good trick and to set up a really good show. So, you know, I would carry all this stuff and everything, and I find myself wanting to pare down to smaller things, or as they say, pack flat, play big, pack small, play big. So I'm transitioning a little more to that direction. Instead of having 3 or 4 tricks that are bigger, you have to put in a bigger case and all, I'm wanting to get down to you know, a set of linking rings and maybe one larger thing.
Now I noticed in your pictures you have 2 banners.
Yes, those are pretty easy. I have a cart that folds down. It opens up into a wagon, and I just got a new one. The new one has a open bottom with a shelf, and you can, I can just slide those two banners right in there. They're not that heavy, and slide underneath, and I can put the rest of my show up on top, and it's one trip in. And
they are impressive. I will say that.
yeah, they dress it up really nicely, and you know, I believe in doing as nice of a professional presentation as you can get, you know, within reason. I don't usually take a big backdrop, which I have. I have a backdrop to match those banners. I mean, I wouldn't use them both, but that's, I don't know, 8 feet long, 8 feet high, and but I don't use it hardly any time. It's too hard to carry in. If I was doing a larger church and an evening show, I would do it. You know, so.
Hey, you're back, Brad. Where were you? Did you hear
I was
that?
back there being the director. I was putting. Didn't you see the little graphics I'm putting on there? I was keeping my mouth shut. But when you start talking about that backdrop, I use one of those right here, and I've noticed that I see some people post, "Here's my setup. This is my office for the day," and they might have a banner, but they don't really have nothing behind them, and there's a lot of confusion behind them. And what you can do, and I've done it before, is just some real lightweight fabric that you can put on the top of your banner and then have it draped down. And I've just wrapped it around a couple of chairs. And then it really gives you a backdrop behind you and gets rid of a lot of that visual clutter that's behind you.
Yeah, I have a table that I use behind me that is about, not quite chest high. And I put a large silk on it, actually just tape it to the top and put it right between those two banners, because I always need something to set tricks on and to get tricks off of. Sure. Rather than going down under the table, I can just turn and grab it. And so it kind of accomplishes a similar thing. But
can I ask you, when you get a chance, post a picture of your new cart that you were talking about?
I will.
Group, because those practical little things make a difference for all of us. We need to learn from each other. Yeah.
After I bought this one, I ran onto one that actually is motorized and has the tailgate that lets down that could accomplish the same thing. So I'll try to maybe post that as well. No, I didn't buy it, but because I already bought this other one.
Have anything else you want to share with us before we close this
out? I think I'd like to say that I found that with a senior audience, visual things, usually you've got to start off that way and close out that way, where you may be at the end, I'm producing this long string of dragon silks to Chinese music, and then I close out with a version of the snowstorm, but it's butterflies. And bring a little broom to clean up afterwards. Don't want to leave a mess. So that or something that's just an intriguing story that they will get involved in and get drawn into, and also humor. Yeah. You know, so those three elements: visual, very visual, kind of flashy, an intriguing story, and then humor.
Awesome. I totally agree. Well, thank you for being with us on this and sharing with everything. And now everybody knows that you're for real. And I'm assuming you're talking to some of our members in the Facebook group, you know?
Yes. And Nick and I stay in touch, particularly, and you and different ones. Yes.
Great. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me, and I love this group. I try not to miss it, although sometimes I have to.
I understand.
They're recorded, though, if you ever need to.
We're going to put you in the green room, but don't go away. We want to talk to you some more.
Okay. Yeah, I need to talk with you, Steve, about the mailings.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Al. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Steve.
Well, there you have it. Another senior magi. We didn't even ask how old he was. Is he a senior, or is he like 30
I
something.
don't know how old he is. I don't know. Maybe we should ask him.
Looks like a teenager.
Well, next week, what I'm thinking about doing for our podcast is like recapping some of the highlights or talking on the topics of our past podcast. Because we have some new members, and not only that, but sometimes I have a little bit more to share about some of the topics we've discussed, so we'll do that next week.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Kind of go back and review some of the stuff because there was the good, bad, and the ugly, right? There's ugly. Okay, Steve-O, I'm going to pop you in there and sign this one off. Thanks again. Just like that, he's gone. I made Steve disappear. Well, that concludes our day for today. I'm going to go back to the green room and enjoy some of those digital hors d'oeuvres with those guys. We're going to talk about magic secrets because we perform in public and we teach in private. That's the old school way. Okay, peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good. Be kind. Be nice. Did I say be nice? Be nice. See ya.